Welcome back to my channel. Today we will learn about the gripping and shocking developments that have unfolded recently in the world of CBS's The Bold and the Beautiful. A dark series of events involving Luna Nozawa, Sheila Carter, and Steffy Forrester has led to a tense and dangerous situation, shaking the very foundations of the families we have come to know and love. At the heart of this disturbing narrative lies obsession, deception, and self-sacrifice, each twisting the fates of the characters involved into an intricate web of secrets and lies. It all began with Luna Nozawa, a young woman whose once innocent ambitions at Forrester Creations slowly devolved into darker motives. Luna recently purchased a handgun from a shady street vendor, and it quickly became clear that her intentions were far from innocent. Her escalating fixation on her estranged father, Dr. John Finnegan, had driven Luna to desperate and dangerous measures. Luna viewed Steffy Forrester as the obstacle standing between herself and Finn, convinced that if Steffy were out of the picture, she could finally reclaim her father's love and acceptance. Meanwhile, Sheila Carter, infamous for her troubled past, sensed something troubling brewing beneath Luna's outward demeanor. Though Sheila had only recently reconnected with her granddaughter Luna, her instincts were sharp and her experience extensive. Sheila, having navigated her own turbulent life filled with violence and deception, recognized the signs in Luna almost immediately. Despite the distance and difficulties that often plagued their relationship, Sheila felt a familial duty to keep watch over Luna's actions, aware of the dangerous path her granddaughter was heading down. It wasn't affection alone guiding Sheila. It was an uneasy intuition, a sixth sense that told her Luna was preparing to commit an irreversible act. Sheila's worst fears were soon confirmed. On a quiet afternoon, Sheila covertly followed Luna, carefully observing her granddaughter from a safe distance. As she trailed Luna, Sheila's anxiety deepened when she realized the destination, Steffy and Finn's home. With Finn noticeably absent, Sheila's pulse quickened, aware that Luna had chosen this moment purposefully. Sheila watched helplessly as Luna approached the residence with alarming determination, handgun concealed, intentions clearly malicious. Inside the house, Steffy was alone, unaware of the impending danger. Luna, driven by her obsession and delusions, forced her way into the home, immediately confronting Steffy. The tense exchange rapidly escalated into chaos, with Steffy desperately pleading with Luna to put down the gun and reconsider her actions. But Luna's obsession had pushed her past the point of reason. No plea, no explanation would reach her. Her mind was fixated on only one goal, removing Steffy permanently. Sheila, outside and frozen momentarily in fear, soon heard a loud, unmistakable gunshot echoing from within the house. Panic overtook her, pushing her into immediate action. Rushing through the open doorway, Sheila discovered a horrific scene. Steffy lay bleeding on the floor, critically wounded, while Luna stood paralyzed, the gun shaking violently in her trembling hands. Luna had clearly never imagined the stark reality of violence. The sight of Steffy's body, blood pooling beneath her, left her stunned and terrified. Understanding the magnitude of what had just occurred, Sheila quickly intervened, knowing the consequences Luna would face if caught. Sheila, drawing upon her own complicated past and fierce protective instincts, urgently instructed Luna to leave immediately. Her voice was firm yet desperate. "Go, Luna. Leave now." Luna, inexperienced and panicked by the violence she had inflicted, followed Sheila's command instinctively, fleeing the scene without looking back. Sheila, left alone with Steffy's unconscious and bleeding form, had little time to deliberate her next move. The weight of the moment pressed down on her heavily. Her thoughts raced wildly. Sheila had caused enough pain and suffering in her own past, and she knew better than anyone the destructive power of the path Luna was walking. In an act of surprising selflessness and sacrifice, Sheila made an astonishing choice. She decided to call 911 and willingly take responsibility for the shooting. Sheila understood this meant certain imprisonment, but her concern for Luna, and the desire to protect her granddaughter from the harsh consequences, was greater than her fear of punishment. Moments later, Sheila dialed 911. Her voice trembled slightly as she confessed clearly and explicitly to the dispatcher, claiming responsibility for the shooting. Emergency services quickly arrived, accompanied by police officers who immediately took Sheila into custody. She offered no resistance, quietly accepting her arrest as medical teams rushed Steffy, still unconscious and gravely injured, to the hospital. At the hospital, doctors and surgeons worked tirelessly to stabilize Steffy, performing emergency surgery to repair the extensive internal injuries caused by Luna's gunshot. Finn, who had been unaware of the incident until his return home, was shattered when informed of Steffy's critical condition. His heart sank deeper upon learning the shocking news: Sheila had confessed to the crime. Finn was bewildered, unable to comprehend how Sheila could have committed such violence, especially after seemingly trying to repair past mistakes. However, in the chaos, something did not feel right. Finn's instincts began questioning Sheila's sudden violent turn, sensing there was more to the story. Despite her precarious condition, Steffy managed to cling to life, although she remained in a coma, rendering the authorities temporarily unable to question her about the event. Detectives, relying heavily on Sheila's confession and available evidence, struggled to uncover the full truth. Sheila's insistence that she acted alone temporarily shielded Luna from immediate suspicion. However, investigators could not ignore the inconsistencies in Sheila's past behavior. Suspicions remained high that Sheila might be covering for someone else. Meanwhile, Luna was on the run. Haunted by guilt and fear, she quickly realized that Sheila's self-sacrifice might buy her only temporary safety. The weight of her actions and the realization of her own culpability began to gnaw relentlessly at Luna's conscience. Unable to trust anyone and terrified of the approaching authorities, Luna decided to flee Los Angeles. With limited resources and no real experience in evading capture, she hastily arranged an escape, desperately attempting to erase her tracks and disappear into the shadows. As Luna fled, the facade that Sheila constructed to protect her granddaughter began to crack. Authorities found discrepancies in Sheila's confession, raising further questions about who truly fired the gun. Friends and family expressed disbelief that Sheila would commit such a senseless act against Steffy, further compelling detectives to re-examine evidence at the crime scene and seek additional testimonies. Finn, despite his complicated history with Sheila, openly questioned her motives, sensing that the truth had yet to emerge. Privately, he began piecing together clues, suspecting Luna's involvement more strongly with every passing moment. As days passed, Steffy's condition finally began to improve. Gradually emerging from her coma, Steffy became the pivotal witness who could unravel Sheila's carefully constructed deception. Doctors advised caution, but detectives urgently pressed to speak with her as soon as possible, knowing her testimony was key. Upon regaining consciousness, Steffy, still weak but lucid, provided a chilling account of Luna's violent actions, confirming the investigators' suspicions. Her vivid recollection of Luna's attack contradicted Sheila's self-incriminating confession, leaving the police with a clearer picture of the true assailant. With Steffy's testimony now public, Sheila's noble attempt to shield Luna from punishment collapsed entirely. Authorities issued an immediate warrant for Luna's arrest, launching an intense, citywide search. Luna, now officially identified as the primary suspect, became the subject of a major manhunt, her face broadcast across media channels throughout California and beyond. Finn grappled with a whirlwind of emotions: relief at Steffy's survival, rage at Luna's horrific act, confusion over Sheila's complicated role, and heartbreak for the irreversible damage inflicted upon his family. Sheila, confined behind bars, faced intense interrogation and legal consequences. Her sacrifice, meant to protect Luna, only deepened the tragedy and intensified scrutiny on her troubled past. As law enforcement closed in, Luna's attempts to evade capture grew desperate. Her future remained uncertain, overshadowed by the devastating consequences of her choices. Yet, one thing was clear: the families affected by her actions would never be the same again. Next, we will dive deep into a sizzling drama that has kept fans of the bold and the beautiful on the edge of their seats. The undeniable fixation one character has on the iconic Brooke Logan. While Brooke has always been at the center of romantic entanglements, it appears that her long-standing rival, Taylor Hayes, might just be harboring an obsession that rivals any storyline we've seen before. In this article, we'll explore the intricate web of relationships, hidden hypocrisies, and the passionate reactions from fans that make this rivalry one of the most captivating in daytime television history. Buckle up as we unravel the layers of this complex dynamic with fresh perspectives and intriguing new details. Let's start by painting the picture of this rivalry that has spanned decades on the show. Brooke Logan, the epitome of glamour and scandal in Los Angeles' elite fashion world, has never shied away from love, no matter how complicated or controversial. However, it seems that Taylor Hayes, a woman of poise and psychological insight as a psychiatrist, cannot escape the shadow of Brooke's presence in her life. While Taylor often frames Brooke as the relentless pursuer of men and drama, a closer look reveals that Taylor herself might be the one unable to let go of Brooke's influence. From sharing romantic histories with the same men to constantly critiquing Brooke's choices, Taylor's focus on her rival raises eyebrows. Could this be more than just competition? Is there a deeper, unspoken fixation at play? Some speculate that Taylor's constant need to compare herself to Brooke stems from an unresolved envy of Brooke's magnetic charm and ability to command attention in any room she enters. Delving into their shared romantic pasts, the evidence of Taylor's preoccupation with Brooke becomes even more striking. Take Ridge Forrester, the dashing heir to the Forrester Creations empire and the man at the heart of this tumultuous love triangle. Taylor has repeatedly returned to Ridge, often stepping into his life mere moments after his splits with Brooke, as though waiting in the wings for her chance to reclaim what she believes is hers. But it doesn't stop there. Taylor's romantic entanglements also include Nick Marone, a ruggedly handsome businessman who once held Brooke's heart, and Thorne Forrester, whose deep affection for Brooke was no secret to anyone in the family. Even more eyebrow-raising is Taylor's brief but intense connection with Rick Forrester, Brooke's own son, a decision that shocked viewers with its audacity. And let's not forget the whispers of a near-romance with Eric Forrester, the patriarch who himself was once captivated by Brooke's allure. While Taylor often positions herself as the moral compass pointing out Brooke's supposed lack of ethics, one can't help but wonder if Taylor's choices reflect a mirror image of the very behavior she condemns. Perhaps her pursuit of these men isn't just about love but about proving a point to Brooke. A subtle game of one-upmanship that has gone on for far too long. Beyond the romantic overlaps, there's a psychological layer to Taylor's behavior that adds depth to this storyline. On the surface, Taylor presents herself as the composed, rational counterpart to Brooke's fiery passion. Yet, her frequent outbursts and pointed remarks about Brooke suggest an undercurrent of obsession that even her professional training as a psychiatrist can't fully mask. Fans recall a particularly dramatic moment at a lavish Forrester gala where Taylor, in a rare loss of control, publicly accused Brooke of betrayal with Bill Spencer, claiming Brooke was carrying his child. The raw emotion in her voice, the way her eyes fixated on Brooke amidst the stunned crowd, spoke volumes about how deeply Brooke occupies her thoughts. After that explosive confrontation, Taylor vanished from the social scene for months, leaving viewers to wonder if her mental state had been shattered by her inability to escape Brooke's shadow. Some longtime fans theorize that this incident wasn't just a momentary lapse but a culmination of years of suppressed frustration, a sign that Taylor's obsession with Brooke might border on the personal as much as the romantic. The fanbase of The Bold and the Beautiful has been vocal about this dynamic, flooding online forums and social media with their unfiltered takes on Taylor's behavior. One avid viewer passionately argued, "Taylor's just as hooked on Ridge as Brooke ever was, if not more. She's always there to swoop in the second Brooke steps away, and yet she escapes the homewrecker label. How is that fair?" Another fan pointed out the parallels in their romantic histories, stating, "Taylor has been involved with nearly every Forrester man Brooke has touched. It's not a coincidence, it's a pattern. She's clearly obsessed with living Brooke's life." A particularly frustrated commenter added, "Taylor's hypocrisy is unreal. She drags Brooke's name through the mud for her choices, but she's no saint. Remember her meltdown over Brooke and Bill? She lost it in front of everyone and then disappeared. That's not normal rivalry, that's fixation." These reactions highlight a growing sentiment among fans that Taylor's disdain for Brooke might be less about moral superiority and more about a deep-seated need to compete with, or even eclipse, her rival at every turn. Online polls conducted by fan groups show a near 60-40 split, with the majority siding with Brooke as the more authentic, if flawed, character in this saga. Adding a new twist to this narrative, let's imagine a potential upcoming storyline that could further expose Taylor's obsession. Picture a scenario where Taylor, in a bid to outshine Brooke at a major Forrester Creations charity event, hires a private investigator to dig into Brooke's past for fresh scandals. However, in doing so, she uncovers old love letters that reveal her own past vulnerabilities and insecurities about Brooke. Letters she wrote to Ridge during one of their many breakups, lamenting how she could never measure up to Brooke's hold over him. This discovery, if brought to light on the show, could force Taylor to confront her own fixation publicly, perhaps leading to a heartfelt, tear-jerking scene where the two women finally address the root of their decades-long feud. Such a plot twist would not only add layers to Taylor's character but also give fans the emotional resolution they've been craving, proving that sometimes obsession is just pain disguised as rivalry. As we wrap up this exploration, it's clear that the drama between Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan is far from over. Their rivalry, fueled by shared loves, clashing personalities, and unspoken envies, remains a cornerstone of The Bold and the Beautiful storytelling. Whether Taylor's actions stem from genuine obsession or simply a desire to protect her heart from being overshadowed, one thing is certain, fans are hooked on every twist and turn. We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Taylor is truly obsessed with Brooke, or is this just a fierce competition taken to the extreme? And what do you hope to see next in this iconic feud? Make sure to tune in daily to The Bold and the Beautiful to catch the latest developments in this enthralling saga. Until then, stay tuned to BNB Spoilers channel for more updates, insights, and exclusive sneak peeks into the lives of your favorite characters.